Today we're going to look at another strange figure. This time, it's a weird action soldier. Now, I knew what this figure was prior to getting it, but I thought it may be more fun today if I just kind of showed you some of the details and allowed you to guess before just outright saying it. I know that this figure appeared in Codename Iowa's Assembly Required, because it was in the Joe Declassified case there. I'd actually taken it there many, many years ago. Well, maybe it hasn't been that long. I don't know. I'm kind of losing track of the years. That happens to me. But let's just take a closer look. First, you can see the most obvious thing is that the shirt is extended. He definitely has some additional details that have been sculpted on down there that honestly kind of eliminate all of the articulation at the waist. There's no upper leg articulation or waist articulation. You just don't have that anymore on this figure. It's solid. None of the joints actually bend. And that includes any in the arms or in the knees. The knees, while they appear to be glued together, you'll actually find if you look at the bottom of the figure, there are no footholes in this. So what may be going on here? It took me a little while, but I realized, after I finally had it in hand for the first time, that this is almost one solid piece of resin that has been cast. The exception to that seems to be in the arms. The arms do look like they are arms from an original figure that have been glued on there. And the reason why I say that is that looking at this in person, it really does appear that these are real rivets. And some of the details deep down in the shoulder joint, you can just kind of see a little bit down in there as you would a normal figure. I don't believe that those are cast arms, but I can tell you for certain that the rest of it is kind of lightweight, as if it is made of a different material. And certainly, these feet have not been filled in. They're just, there's never a hole in the bottom of these. So you may be thinking, well, is that some kind of weird Toy Fair thing? It's not that. Or is that some kind of weird catalog something or other? It's not that. To try to give you a little bit more of a hint, whenever I got this figure, I didn't actually get it by itself. It came with another figure. And that figure is not at all G.I. Joe, but maybe it will clue you in. Came with this guy. They are quite different in size. So what is the deal, you may be wondering? Who is this guy? Does he look familiar to you? These were not for production for 1994, like Action Soldier was. Of course, these came later. The figure came out and then it was used for this thing that happened in 1995. And these were made for a movie. And this particular G.I. Joe figure appeared in a scene with, let's see, Darth Vader, a Cardassian and a Ferengi, RoboCop, and the Tyrannosaurus Rex from Jurassic Park. If you haven't guessed yet, then you just aren't familiar with the movie. The answer is they appeared in The Indian in the Cupboard, which is a movie that was released in 1995. It was directed by Frank Oz, with a screenplay by Melissa Matheson, who also wrote E.T., and it was based on a book by Lynn Reed Banks that had been published in 1980, so it was a popular children's novel. And it's a story about a 9-year-old boy who, for his birthday, he receives a small cabinet and a key. They may both be magical, one may be magical, that's not really clear to me from having seen the movie. But whenever he puts toys inside the cabinet, or cupboard as the title says, and shuts it and turns the key, they come to life. There is a scene where Omri, the boy, gathers up several of his toys and he chooses from them, not you, Ram Man, not putting Ram Man in there, but he grabs several of them from a basket and puts them in there, and they come to life. But I thought that it was a great thing to have found a G.I. Joe figure that really didn't have anything to do with the production of G.I. Joes, but it had something to do with G.I. Joe in pop culture. Because in 1995, there were G.I. Joes still on the shelves, but not 3 3/4 inch G.I. Joes. And a lot of G.I. Joe fans who are our age, my age I should say, really love the 3 3/4 inch figures. And 95 is like this weird time period where we didn't have those available, except for some of the ones that are on clearance. I was still trying to hunt down as many lunatics as I could at that time. I think it's kind of interesting maybe to mention that the movie was released on July 14th, 1995. And that's probably only worth mentioning because also in July of 1995 was the launch of the new Star Wars toy line, Power of the Force, or as the fans call it, Power of the Force 2. That, I don't know that that's really a coincidence. I'm sure that Darth Vader was a huge get to have cameo in the movie. Frank Oz may have had something to do with that. Kenner may have had something to do with that. I'm really not sure how the deal went down for what particular figures appeared, because it's not like they're all Kenner. The Star Trek figures are Playmates, but you do have some Kenner/Hasbro things coming to life between G.I. Joe, Darth Vader, and the T-Rex at the time. Obviously, I'm holding up this VHS release of the movie. There were several different copies of the movie available with various bonuses. The most common one, you actually get a figure of Little Bear with it, and the other copy that's somewhat common, you get a key. Sometimes you get Little Bear and the key. This is the best one, where you get not only Little Bear and the key, but you also get the Cowboy Boone, his horse, and you get Tommy the Medic, who I already showed you. That is who this figure is. This figure, whenever it was placed inside the cupboard in the movie and the key came on, Steve Coogan came out. And, you know, he had a bit of a role in the movie at that point. I can show you a comparison, though, of the Tommy figure that comes inside the VHS, if you're lucky. This is I don't want to call it rare. At any time you could find this on eBay. It's one of those things that is always lingering on eBay at a high price, but whenever they get listed, they go for a low price. It's just one of those things. So if you want one, you just kind of wait and you can find one. G.I. Joe's not in there, but I still feel the need to kind of show you a comparison of these two figures. Yeah, this is the Tommy that appeared in the movie. This is the Tommy that appears in the back of the VHS set. So, yeah, they're quite different. But I think that the people that were sculpting this actually kind of had Steve Coogan in mind, because the shape of the head is a little bit more similar to, well, I don't want to say it's exact. It's not like this is a great likeness. But in general, I think that they were just going off of pictures rather than going off of the toy. They probably just had a copy of the movie or stills from the movie to go off of. So now that you know what it is, I think that I can take a guess at why it is like it is. And I think that's for the sake of movie continuity. The added sculpting detail, I think, makes it match a little bit better whenever it comes to life. And the frozen solid joints, the fact that it can't bend or move at all, prevents it from looking different from shot to shot. So it's definitely a matter of movie continuity that they're keeping it the same. So, you know, little kids on set and lots of toys, this makes it so that whenever they put this in the cupboard, if they need to do pickup shots later, they know exactly how it was posed. It keeps that pose from ever changing as they are doing the production of the movie, which definitely was a benefit, because G.I. Joe had a very, very small role in the movie. I think that he's in there for less than a minute. It's probably closer to 30 seconds for the entire scene involving him. At the time, and this is probably the most interesting fact that I will leave us with, he was played by G.I. Johnston. Now, G.I. Johnston's a man who was not in G.I. Joe Retaliation, but he is probably best known for being the personal stunt double for Bruce Willis, who also played G.I. Joe in G.I. Joe Retaliation. So I kind of think that even though he wasn't in G.I. Joe, that's still kind of a neat movie trivia fact. That prior to G.I. Joe Retaliation, it was Bruce Willis's stunt double who was playing G.I. Joe back in 1995. G.I. Johnston played Bruce Willis's stunt double from, I think I read online, from 1986 to 1991. It seemed like maybe it was longer than that, because he was in pretty much all of Moonlighting, as far as I can tell. He was in the first 4 Die Hard movies, and he goes all the way back to Bruce Willis's Blind Date, which is even before Die Hard. So that's one of Bruce Willis's, if not the first movie, it's one of his first big pictures. So definitely some interesting stuff there. Tell us what you think. What do you think of the figure? It's definitely a little bit outside the box as far as G.I. Joe collecting goes, not necessarily the first thing that you would come to. So I kind of thought that that may be some fun. Let us know what you think in the comments. Like, share, and subscribe as always. And I really appreciate hearing what you guys have to say about in the comments. It's always a lot of fun to engage with all of you in a little bit of interaction after these videos. It's definitely kind of the intrinsic reward for me, so I appreciate it. Thanks again.
Thanks for watching this episode of Articulated Points. We hope you enjoyed it, and we'd appreciate it if you would like, share, and subscribe. If you'd like to learn more about some of the toys featured in this episode or want to follow us on social media, links are in the description below this video.